beautiful randoms. We're going to react to top 10 scariest rides in the world.
Alrighty. Let's get into it. This will be fun.
Whee!
As someone who's ridden a lot of rides, and I mean a lot of rides, they don't faze me like they used to. I remember as a kid being terrified of roller coasters. Something about the height and the speed really put me on edge. Now that I've ridden roller coasters all around the world, roller coasters don't scare me at all, not even slightly. The rides that do still freak me out are the ones that play with your senses, make you feel unsafe or unsettled. It's rare that something like this happens, but every once in a while an attraction comes along that actually freaks me out. These are the 10 scariest rides that I've ever ridden. And I want to start things off with Pigeon Forge, Tennessee Mountain Monster. Mountain Monster is actually a complex made up of a couple different rides, including a drop tower and saddle swing, but this is the main headlining attraction. It's kind of similar to a sky coaster, except you're actually sitting in a seat, strapped in. They tilt you forwards like a dive coaster, and then release you, and you plummet to the ground, dangling from cables. I think what makes this so scary is the fact that the restraints are pretty minimalist. We're talking about some pretty tight seat belts. The fact that it forces you to look at the ground and that you know cables are the only thing preventing you from dying. It's definitely an awesome thrill that I recommend checking out. At the number 9 spot, we have what was at one point the world's tallest Starflyer, but it's the tallest Starflyer I've ever done. This is the one down in Orlando, and I've done this countless times. It doesn't get me quite like it used to, but it still puts me a little bit on edge. I don't know if I'm quite at the level where I'll put my hands up while riding this thing. I'm still holding on. This thing's about 450 feet tall, so it's...
What is this? Yeah.
You flying somewhere else.
Helicopter.
How long? Do they check them things, see if they get aging
Exactly.
from the weather?
Exactly.
Well, they're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a young man that's, narrating this video, that's his ignorance of youth. Oh, no rides scare me anymore unless they mess with your senses. No, that's your age. When you get to a certain age, you rationalize and you use logic and you go, well, you know what? They ain't doing inspections like they're supposed to. How many people actually died that they don't report? Yeah.
And they left one cart on the track by accident. Remember that?
Oh,
A lot of
And
things
then people
happen.
rammed into it.
Horrible
and it
stories.
Remember a while back, that Mariah was doing the vocals and ran off the track.
Mm-hmm.
In the air.
No.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Absolutely enormous, and you're hanging from chains. And while I know that they're perfectly safe, it's again one of those things that plays with your senses. It makes you feel like something could go wrong at any time. But let me tell you, the views are awesome, the ride experience is great, it's super long. I always have a blast on this thing, but it doesn't mean it doesn't freak me out a little. At the number 8 spot is a ride that on paper shouldn't be terrifying at all. This is at a remote theme park in Japan that I visited, and all it is a calm little bike ride along some track. It's roller coaster track, but it's completely human powered. There's no electricity or anything. Unlike the other attractions, what makes this one terrifying is that it does feel unsafe. There are 2 seats per car, and each one of them are positioned over the rails, so part of your body is just ever so slightly hanging outside the track, and you know that you could easily just jump off and you die instantly. And it plays with your senses even more when you go around this turn when you're super elevated, way off the ground. The track banks slightly outwards. It is so freaky. I was way on edge doing this thing. It was a ride that I didn't expect to freak me out, but I'm on this thing and I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. But I'm so glad I did it, and honestly, it's one of my favorite attractions I've ever done. Let's head to Las Vegas, Nevada for the number 7 attraction. This is Big Shot, which is an S&S drop tower on top of the Strat, formerly the Stratosphere Hotel. The actual tower
is only 160 feet tall. The problem is, it's on top of one of the tallest towers in the world, so the total height is over 1,000 feet in the air. So you are launched to the tippy top of this thing, and because of the way you're seated, you don't know how much higher you're gonna go. So when you shoot up, you feel like you're just gonna rocket straight off and then fall to the ground and you're gonna die. It's already unsettling being at that top deck of that hotel, but then when you ride this thing, it's like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. But you want to talk about a better drop tower? The Orlando Freefall at Icon Park. Yes, the same place that houses the Orlando Starflyer just recently built a drop tower. And this thing is freakishly tall. It sits at ground level.
What's the matter? Y'all say you don't get on all the rides in the world.
I'd never said that.
That's me. I don't go to the
thought
biggest
you
rides.
said
I was
you
gonna
enjoying
just
them.
support them. But I went on one in Atlanta, man. I was grabbing air, y'all. I was freaking out.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
because that's your
I'm just
mortality. That's you feel that. It's like, wait, I could really get effed up. So it's not worth it to me. That's crap out of my system.
Yeah, I want them all.
I'll do the roller coasters.
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not doing the spin ones no more.
Oh.
Where at Myrtle Beach we went, that was horrific. That was the last spin one.
A lot of spinning.
God,
They was spinning them like
was
this, and then put you in the air spinning,
and pause there.
and pause,
spin
and
again.
they was doing breakdance moves.
I'm never doing it again. I don't care my girl, my kids say do it. No, I'm done. I'm not. No more spins.
I seen it on their face that they were done.
Spins were horrible.
You can always see it on a person's face when they're on the ride. They be like, they're done. They
You
just start
just-
looking serious.
And it was fun, yeah. Then we just say, okay, I want to get down. You start looking miserable and sickly.
Now you're just sitting on the ride.
Yeah, that was torturous.
It's like the people get a kick out of pushing that button.
Yeah, never spin. Don't do spinning rides.
So it plays with a different kind of fear than what Big Shot does. Big Shot messes with your head because of how high up you are. This plays with your fear because you realize how long of a fall that is. You drop and you're falling for an uncomfortable amount of time. Not to mention, the seats tilt about
You gotta
30
tell them.
degrees.
The
This is a ride that
seats
is
tilt.
so thrilling. My hands sweat every time I ride it, but I love it. It's so good. Most drop towers
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
freak me
yeah.
out, but this is one that does. And
I
I
wanna do
love
it.
it. Now I made it to the number 5 spot. Let's go down the road
This
to
one, why
Kissimmee,
you watch
Florida.
on TV?
And there's a lot
Oh,
of
no.
sky coasters
Oh.
out there. By far,
Oh.
the most thrilling one I've ever done
What
is
the-
the world's
That's that
tallest
ride
at
me
Fun
and
Spot
Bruce
Kissimmee.
got.
Now, is it the
That's
best sky
bungee
coaster?
jumping.
Well, I haven't done Royal Rush at Royal Gorge in Colorado. That one by far looks to be the scariest. But this one's pretty crazy. I mean, it's located directly over water, and there's a fountain right at the bottom that you
Kissimmee,
feel like you're just gonna
Florida.
hit. Not to mention, when you're 300 feet in the air, you're literally free falling, and you're in a
it
freaking
Florida?
suit. It's the same sort of fear of
no.
what Mountain Monster has, except for this, they just removed the vehicle. This is about as close to free falling as it gets without skydiving. For the number 4 attraction, let's
Let's
go
bungee
back to
jump
the
in.
Strat. They have a
Yes.
couple rides up there. I already talked about
Oh.
Big
Here
Shot.
we go.
Let's talk about
Here we go.
Insanity. And this might be the most perfectly named ride ever
then
to
you're
exist.
looking at
Because
your
that's all
fate.
you need to know. It's absolutely insane. You sit in these chairs, which, first of all, it's only a lap bar. So already,
That's why
that's
nobody over
terrifying. It takes you out over the edge, and then it starts rotating. You're literally forced to look down over 900 feet below you.
Oh my
I'm literally sweating just talking about this ride. Whoever designed this ride is a complete psychopath. You talk about a ride that is unsettling. I
That's
literally did this once, and I was like,
very
I'm
high.
not doing that
And then they
again.
get you
It was that
looking at it.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the biggest adrenaline
I'm
rushes
good.
I've ever had in my
I'm
life.
good.
But it's
Yeah,
only at the number
definitely.
4 spot. We still got some crazy ones coming up. We've made it to our top 3. Let's go to Colorado. This is Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. One of my favorite places I've ever been, and they have a ride that is so messed up. This is the Giant Canyon Swing. It's an S&S Scream and Swing. 4 riders sit back to back, and depending on which side you're at, you either look straight down at the canyon below, or you get launched off the canyon looking straight up at the sky. And you know, you would think that the side where you're forced to stare straight down is
It lets you
scarier.
fall
It's
down.
not. The side where you're getting launched off is way freakier. This is a ride that absolutely made my heart rate race. I had the courage to do it more than Insanity. This is another one of those rides where I say, whoever came up with this thing is messed up. You almost get more people watching it than riding it. But it's so photogenic. So if you go here, be sure to bring your phone, because you're going to want to take a lot of pictures. When I went, I spent a full day here, and I'm so glad my phone was fully charged. That's why I use the Anker 521 Charger Nano Pro. It charges 3
Slick.
times faster than the original
Like how you
chargers
did
that
that.
Apple
Like
gives you.
how you
My
did
iPhone
that
11 will
there.
go from 0% to 20% in just 12 minutes. We tend to do a lot of editing on the go, and so it's important for us also to have a fully charged computer for those long car rides when we're going from park to park. And the Anker 521 Charger Nano Pro supports a 40-watt max output, which means that your MacBook Air will charge at full speed when using a single port. Not to mention, it's identical in size to those typical iPhone chargers you guys are used to. But this one has double the output, and don't worry, for those of you non-iPhone users, if you have a Galaxy or Google Pixel, this will absolutely work with it too. We're constantly filling up with electrical outlets to charge all of our gear, so the fact that Anker offers not just a single port option with the 511 Nano Pro, but also a double port option with the 521 Nano Pro makes my life a whole lot easier. We can charge an iPhone and AirPods at the same time and still leave those other outlets open for our camera equipment. And so many of these cables that we're using nowadays stray away from that standard USB port in favor of USB-C. So the fact that I can finally use those without needing an adapter makes my life way easier. I'll throw a link to where you can get yours in the description down below. So that way next time you're at a theme park, you'll be all set for a fun-filled day and you'll get that perfect shot of whatever crazy thrill ride you get on next. And our number 2 attraction is one that you'll definitely want to capture the moment for. This is Pterodactyl at Cave of the Winds. So take Mountain Monster from earlier and put it in a canyon. So before, where you're dropping towards Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, now you're dropping into a cavern below, and you think you're gonna hit the rocks on the other side.
Yeah,
oh, did I mention this thing is also a lot taller? This is a 400-foot cavern. So yeah, you could like fit Dragster from top to bottom. And this thing plunges you all the way down, gives you a real scenic look. But it's honestly kind of hard to focus on view when you're like totally freaking out. It's another one of those attractions where I only rode it once. I'm so glad I did it, but man, it was terrifying. But would I do it again? I mean, yeah, probably. Hey, there's nothing quite like that first time ride. Once you did it, you feel like you can conquer anything. So why not do it again? Well, unless we're talking about our number 1 attraction. No way am I doing this thing again. X-Scream is our number 1 scariest ride. And it is the 3rd and final attraction in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Strat. And I don't think I've ever been so stressed in my life than riding this thing. And it's so simple. We're literally talking about a seesaw, but they put it on top of a freaking building. So it tilts you, and then you start sliding forward, and you think you're just gonna fly straight off the tower down to the ground below, and you're gonna be dead. This is one of the most psychologically demented attractions in the world. I only rode this once. I sat in the front row by myself. I thought that was it for me. So if you learned anything from this video, if you want to get terrified, go to the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas. They literally had
I want to do it though.
And they even have a 4th. You can jump off the Stratosphere. I didn't put that on here because technically it's not a ride, but that's also terrifying and I recommend it. So let me know down in the comments below, what are some of the scariest attractions you've ever ridden? And if you've been on any of these, let me know what you thought of them down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We do roller coaster and theme park videos from places all around the world. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
Alright. Like your video.
Yeah, he's a thrill seeker.
You know I'm not built for that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm freaking out from the TV.
Yeah. That one last ride he showed is like Amazing Race and Amazing Race. They were chucking them out buildings and just make them bungee fall down. That's what that was. Else, nah.
Oh, that's why he ain't counted.
Yeah, he says more. I'm good. There's other things I would like to do, not that. Yeah. But get you pumped. You want to get on some of them. You was freaking out the whole time. Like, well, that's what all roller coasters are. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you ain't one.